Awesome. There's a chat window, I guess I should say. I think it's up to the top left if you want to click in that chat window and let us know where you're from.
Right. Hello, everyone. Welcome. We just started streaming on Facebook as well. So we have a couple minutes. So we're going to wait. But in the meantime, of course, you can tell us where you're from. Tell us where you're viewing us from. And we're going to start promptly at 3. A couple of people. Hi, Melissa. Hi, Trisha. Trisha is from Arima. So
That is a place I haven't heard from yet. So where
Arima is in Trinidad.
I'm
Yes.
from Ohio, so.
So welcome, everybody. We have on Facebook, we have Robin and Nikki. Iman is from Lebanon. We have someone from Lebanon viewing us on Facebook.
Awesome.
So welcome. We'll be starting shortly. And we're very happy to have John with us. He is the expert, so I will be leaving you all very shortly.
I'm looking around for the expert here.
Yes, you're in very, very capable hands. So we have Brian, who just joined us on Facebook.
All right, welcome.
And don't forget to tell us where you are viewing us from Trinidad and Tobago, or from any other part in the world. Just tell us where you're viewing us from. And of course, feel free, you can ask questions within Zoom if you are with us in Zoom, or on Facebook, and we'll get to those as soon as we can. Start in the next 4 minutes.
Ooh, excuse me. All right, welcome, Janine. Janine, if you could, in the chat window, which is up to the top left, I believe, let me know where you're from and what you teach. That would be great. And everybody else, same thing, if you could. My neighbor is doing something with a cement mixer.
Oh. The joys of working from home.
It's all I can hear in my ear, yeah. I had to cancel a hotel for ISTE. And so the hotel was in California. I had to cancel because ISTE was changed to a different date. And as I was on hold, the automated voice message came on and said, please be mindful. All of our support specialists are working from home right now. Be mindful of screaming children and barking dogs. And I laughed. I was like, because I have both. I have 3 screaming children and a barking dog. I wish that I had a Zoom mute button for my children, right? Or my neighbors. Luckily, right now they're out getting ice cream and visiting one of my children's teachers. They're eating ice cream with her. So, all right, welcome. Lots of people popping in now.
Yes.
Jean from Trinidad and Tobago teach Mandarin. And Trisha teaches French. Very cool. Roxanne, welcome. Patrice, welcome. I think those are the new ones. Lorraine, welcome. 2 minutes, people. 2 minutes.
Yes. And on Facebook, we have Juliet, we have Latoya Papanet. Remember to tell us where you're viewing us from and what subject you teach.
Oh, excuse my yawn. I'm not tired, but I'm like getting these yawn fits. I heard it's because my brain needs oxygen. I think it's because I'm talking too much today. I don't have any more oxygen.
Maria just joined us on Facebook as well. Welcome.
Let's see, Roberto, welcome, Roberto. Roxanne, welcome.
One more minute. And start.
Helen, welcome. Welcome, Helen.
Remember to tell us where you are viewing us from and what subject area you are in. All right, so it's 3 o'clock, so we can start officially. So welcome everyone. We would really like to thank you for spending time with us. And I really want to thank John Smith for agreeing so quickly to come and share with us Bookcreator. It is something that I have used with my students and they love it because of course it allows them to express themselves in so many ways. And I am leaving you in the very capable hands. I'm going to be here, but you're not going to see me anymore until probably the end. All right, so feel free to ask questions. If you're with us in Zoom, you can ask us questions here. If you're on Facebook, we are also viewing the questions there. So feel free to send your questions and your comments. And of course, share with your colleagues if you know they're going to be benefiting from this. So let them know to jump on in with us. All right, so I hand you over to John. I'll see you all at the end.
All right, great. Welcome, everybody. I'm so glad to be here. So just some housekeeping business first. If you could, in the chat window, that is a great place for you to leave comments or aha moments, quotes of excitement, things like that that get you going. If you want to put that into the chat window, that's awesome. I'm always happy to answer questions, but sometimes in the chat window it starts flying by and I miss them. So if you have a question, put it in the Q&A box and I'll be sure to answer it. And if I don't answer it right away, I promise I'll answer it. We'll get to that, question as soon as I can. All right, so let me go ahead and share my screen here. And we're going to jump into this thing. All right, so here we are. We're going to talk about Bookcreator today. So my name is John Smith. I am the iPod teacher on Twitter. So if you're on Twitter and you want to give me a shout out, perfect. If not, no worries. I know we've got a large Facebook crowd in this group, so that's fine as well. I am John Smith at bookcreator.com. So if you have questions after the fact, you can always send me something on Twitter or send me an email directly to my email there, and I'll be happy to answer that. I taught special ed for 12 years. I was a technology integration specialist for 7, and now I'm working as Bookcreator's teacher success manager. So what does that mean? I don't know. I figure it out every day, right? So a little bit of sales, lots of trainings and webinars, conferences when that was a thing before all this virus stuff hit. Go to conferences, speak, everything. So just a little bit of everything. I'm married. I've got 3 kids, 9, 6, and 3. And I love golf and clean cars. So I don't think anybody's going to be driving to Ohio to drop off a dirty car for me to clean. But if you have one and you want to bring it over here, then I'll be happy to clean it because I love washing cars. All right, so today's agenda, we've got a packed hour. First thing we're going to do today is I'm going to share my story, a little bit about my story and why Bookcreator is important to me and why I think it will be important to you and to your students. Then we're going to jump into a quick demo of what Bookcreator has to offer. And then we're going to get into a section where you will get a chance to make your own collaborative book with everybody in the webinar today. All right, so we're going to have a little bit of fun in this hour. All right, but again, jam-packed. So let's get this ball rolling. All right. So my story, the world is my audience. All right. That's going to be the name of my story. And like every good story, mine has a start. And mine starts with these kids right here. And I know what you're thinking. They're smiling, right? They look happy. They're cute. They can't be that bad. But don't let them fool you. All right. Because those faces, that is not true. My kids were not happy. They were not excited about school. They did not like me. And they didn't look like that. All right. As a matter of fact, those are some Google kids. I don't have any idea whose kids those are, but that is not what my kids look like. And but the big issue was that they just really had problems, right? They had huge problems, and the main problem was that they just didn't care. They didn't care about me. They didn't care about school. They didn't care about reading and math and science. But the one thing that puzzled me the most was that they didn't care about writing, right? I figured like we all needed to learn how to write. And why did my kids hate writing so much? And so I started thinking about this. And then I realized something that was kind of interesting. And that was that I didn't even like writing, right? Even as an adult. So I thought maybe if I could help myself, then maybe I could help my students. And so I started to think about ways that I could help them. And I tried the writing prompt, right? I tried any writing prompt that I could find. And I ended up just ripping my hair out of my head because they hated every prompt that I could give them. So I thought I'd try maybe some disgusting writing prompts, right? Like, let's pretend like we're dogs and let's write about the day in the life of a dog. You wake up, you lick your butt, what happens next? And that didn't work, right? The kids were just thrown up in the back of the classroom. They couldn't stand the disgusting writing prompt. So I was like, all right, let's try again. So I decided to go after like food, right? Because we all like food and maybe I could appeal to their stomachs. And so we'd write about pizza and crust and sauce and all that stuff. And guess what? They didn't like that either. And as a matter of fact, they got even more mad as we continued these discussions. So eventually I felt like this guy right here. I felt like a boxer that had gotten knocked out. I felt like a complete failure. And all I really wanted to do was just quit my job. And so I decided to do what all of the really, really good teachers do, at least here in the States, right? I went to the teacher store, and there it was in the back left corner, ironically, right next to the Advil, the holy grail of writing, 730 journal prompts, 2 for every day of the year. I thought this is it. My kids will love these. I'll love these. This will solve my problem. So I went into school, as you can see here on the top left. I was excited, but my students weren't, right? I had some kids that were rolling their eyes. I've got angry Roger Federer down here on the bottom left, and it was just a bad situation. And I just continued to ask myself, why me, right? Why am I having this much trouble with my students? And so I started thinking about this more and more. And after many years of struggling through this, I came up with some ideas of why I think kids hate writing, or more importantly, why they hate school. And so there were 3 specific reasons that I came up with. Number one is that these students spend a lot of time doing this work that we ask them to do. And when they are done, they turn it into you, the audience of one. And for a lot of these kids that grow up with a huge social media following, turning it into one single teacher isn't good enough, right? I mean, most of these kids have 10,000 YouTube followers before we eat breakfast. And then they come to school and it's just you, right? And so that's not okay. Now, if we're lucky, they might take the work home and stick it on their refrigerator, and then we have an audience of 3 or 4, but that's it. So I took that idea. I was like, okay. Then I thought about number 2. And the second thing that I feel is that even today, even in 2020, we are still telling kids that they're not allowed to collaborate. We think that's cheating. Students call it collaborating, and it's just a mess. But these kids, again, I mean, if you don't believe me, look at all the YouTube videos, look at the TikTok videos, look at whatever. These kids are making things together, just not at school. And so the kids hate it. And then the third piece is that these students, they graduate school, right? Whether it's high school or kindergarten, because we do that here in Ohio. They graduate school and we ask them, what did they leave behind? And the answer usually is gum under the desk, and that's about it. But there isn't any work that's being left behind that's going to benefit anybody else. These kids are not leaving behind any kind of legacy. And so I was like, okay, I've got these 3 ideas, but now what do I do with these ideas? And so again, I thought about it for a little while, and then something changed my life. All right, changed me forever. And that was the introduction of Bookcreator. And so I found out about Bookcreator. I couldn't wait to get started with this. At the time, it was just the iPad app. Now there's the online version, but I was super excited to try Bookcreator. And so I took this idea, I went to my class and I said to them, hey guys, I've got an idea today. And, again, groany faces, frowny faces. And I said, no, stop your whining, because today we are going to write a book. All right. And so the kids just kind of looked at me, right? They're real angry and upset with me. And I said, no, listen, there's more to the story. And the kids were like, what? And I said, listen, here's the thing. I've had it up to here, right, with your writing. It's awful. It'll probably never get any better. So what we're going to do is we're going to take your garbage writing, we're going to put it into a book, and we're going to publish it out there for the entire world to see. And so the kids, they kind of looked at me with some weird faces, right? Probably similar to like some of the faces you guys are probably giving to me right now. And this girl, she raised her hand. She said, Mr. Smith, you said our writing is awful. Why would we write a book and publish it for the whole world to see? And I told them, I said, it's because I want the whole world to see how awful your writing is so that I don't feel like I'm alone anymore. And the kids were just kind of like, what? This was like kid shaming before that was a thing, right? And so this kid that I had in my class, worst kid I've ever had in my entire teaching career, raises her hand and says, Mr. Smith, if we're going to make a book and publish it for the entire world, shouldn't we take it more serious? And that was my aha moment. That was their aha moment. And we realized something. The kids were excited about being able to write this book for the world. Now, why was this, right? Why were the kids begging to do this writing? And the reason was because no longer were they turning their work into somebody who gets paid to grade it. No longer were they turning their work into somebody who gets paid to leave feedback. We were going to take their work, put it out there online, and let others see what amazing things they could do. That is an entirely different conversation. That's why YouTube is popular. That's why TikTok is popular. That's why social media is popular, because these kids want to post things out there for others except their teachers. All right. And so we decided to take this idea. We talked about it in class. We did the whole writing process, right? Because that's important. We talked characters, settings, plot, beginning, middle, end, all of that important things, sentence structure, how to write good sentences, all of those things that these kids should be learning anyway. And we just repackaged it. And so the kids were excited, but we needed to develop some kind of idea for what this book was going to be about. We also discussed, specifically with Bookcreator, the different types of audiences we were going to have. How are we going to get this book out to others? What kind of design elements are we going to put into our book? And then we talked about being able to write with your face. My students, they would always yell at me and say, Mr. Smith, I can't spell, I can't type, I don't know where the keys are, this is awful, right? They would always come up with that excuse. And so I took that excuse away and said, it's okay. You don't need to do that because your teachers can't spell, your teachers can't write, and they don't know where the keyboards are because I've seen them. But today, we're going to learn to write with our face. We're going to use that microphone and we're going to use our mouths, which you guys use all the time, and we're going to make our stories. And the kids ate it up, right? They were super, super excited about this. So we stopped, we collaborated, and we listened to each other. And eventually, we came up with this idea for a story. We wrote the story, and a couple weeks later, that book was done. And I posted it out on Twitter, and I told people to check this out, download our book, have fun with this. And the people that saw it, that initial tweet, were super excited. So I was so excited because the next day I woke up and I went into class and I told them, listen, you had 16 downloads of that book. And the people were amazed and shocked. And the kids were like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. And then I had a kid ask me a question that had tremendous impact on me. And that student said to me, Mr. Smith, you said we had 16 downloads last night. I said, yes. He said, can we go out in the hallway and graph that? And I said, whoa, time out. That's math. And the kids couldn't believe it, right? They were just absolutely pumped. They were making predictions. When are we going to get to 1,000? When are we going to get to 2,000 books downloaded? It was insane how much engagement these kids had. So at this point, we've actually published over 155 books with my students, kindergarten through high school, college, beyond, it doesn't matter, everybody, right? 155 books. We've had over 60,000 downloads of those books. Now, that's nice because we can go in the hallway and graph that, but the motivation is the money, right? The kids want to write. They absolutely love it. And I think part of the reason, one, not only is the audience different, right? It's not just me, their boring old teacher anymore, but the audience is different. It's the world. So that's motivating. The second thing that's motivating about Bookcreator is that it is easy, right? I can teach kids to use Bookcreator in about 5 minutes flat. All right. And that is awesome. There's not a huge learning curve. Kids love it and they just want to jump into it. All right. So that's important. So a few final thoughts before we go into our next section here, and that is that your kids need to create, all right? They need to be making stuff. They need to be collaborating, working together to solve these problems and to create these amazing resources or books or whatever you want to make with them. And then the third thing is that we need to share. If we can't share, or if the students can't share, if the students can't share, then we need to share for them, because we all have a story to tell. And if we don't tell our story, somebody else is going to tell it for us. And if your school system is like mine, then that means it's going to be the local newspapers that tell that story. And if they tell the story, they're not going to tell you all the positive stuff that's happening. All right. So we need to be able to tell our story. So putting the work on the student refrigerator is not okay. All right. That's not okay in today's day and age. Now, my wife and I, we got into a fight about this. Putting your work on the refrigerator is okay, because I have 3 children now, and guess what's on my refrigerator? Student work. But with tools like Bookcreator and being able to publish your book out there for the world, then we can put their work on everybody's refrigerator. I call it the global refrigerator. So being able to share that work out there with lots and lots of people is amazing, it's powerful, and it's totally motivational for those kids. So I'm going to give you this quote. This is one of my favorite quotes ever. When children create for the world, they make it good. When children create only for their teacher, they make it good enough. And I'll be honest, in today's day and age, good enough ain't good enough anymore. All right? Thanks. All right. So that's part 1. That's my story. And I hope that you see why that story is motivational to me and how it has helped my students, change their mindsets about being able to write and publish books. All right. So I want you to think about those kind of ideas. And if you have any thoughts about what I just shared, put those into the chat window, or if you have any questions, put those into the question box, the Q&A box. I'm always happy to talk about that story. Because again, if it wasn't for that story, and if it wasn't for finding Bookcreator 8 years ago, none of this would have ever been possible for me. And being able to see the work that the students have done and shared out with other people would not have been possible. So I want you to, like I said, if you have any questions or thoughts about any of that, go ahead and put that into the chat window, or questions can go into the Q&A box. But at this point, we're going to go ahead and move into the second part of this story. So Cheryl, great question. Are there copyright concerns? I would say, Cheryl, there are always copyright concerns, right? But one of the things that I made sure that I talked about with my students was making material that was their own. Okay, we didn't steal images from Google. We didn't, take photos of things that we shouldn't have taken photos of, or whatever. Everything that we did was student generated and student created. And so to get around some of the copyright issues, that was one piece, right? We always made sure it was safe stuff to use. But the second thing that we always did is I personally always wrote a permission slip to go out for before every book. And so I would make sure that the parents knew what we were doing and that they signed off on it. All right. And if there were any children that they didn't want their pictures to be in the book, or they didn't want their name to be in a book or something like that, then I would make sure that we acknowledge that and didn't allow that to happen. I did tell the parents that no matter what, you're not going to get your kid out of making a book, because this is school and you still have work to do. All right. And when we show you the Bookcreator features, I'm going to show you a couple other little things that are built right in that will kind of help with those copyright laws. All right, and those kind of copyright concerns. So the book creator belongs to you and to the children. So yes, so whatever we make, that's ours. We don't, book creator does not, it's not our ownership. I mean, we house the book, we store it online for people, but it is the children's book. It's not us. All right. We don't own anything. We don't collect any revenue from it. None of that. It's just the children's book. All right. So great question, Patrice. All right. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to jump in here to our playground book in a second. But the first thing I want to show you is where do you go to get into Book Creator, right? Where do you go to sign up? And so if you've never used Book Creator before, the version that I'm going to show you specifically today is our online version. We do have an iPad app. So if you do have iPads, you can use the app. There are some different features on the online version that the iPad app doesn't have. If you don't have the app, then you can certainly use the online version on an iPad. You just need to use either Chrome, Safari, or Microsoft Edge. But if you go to app.bookcreator.com, I'll put that into the chat window as well. So app.bookcreator.com, oops, can't spell. You will be able to go to the website, all right? And then you will be able to sign in. Now, Patrice asked, what class age did I start this with? When I first started this was with a 5th and 6th grade group of special ed students. I personally have made books with kids from kindergarten all the way on up. So this is valid for any age of student. My son was 4 when he made his first book. My daughter was 6. And like I said, I've worked with kids from kindergarten all the way on up. So you can use this with anybody. When you go to app.bookcreator.com, I need you to be careful because by default, it's set for student sign in. So you'll see here, it says student sign in, and it's got a little smiley face there. Your students can sign in with Google Office or QR code. This tab, though, is what you're going to click on because you are teachers, right? You're always teachers. Students should always be students. Teachers should always be teachers. So when you're a teacher, you click on teacher, sign in with your Google Office or your school email or Clever, and you'll be able to get into our free account. All right. So very easy to do. When you sign in, it's going to ask you a few questions. It's going to ask you to answer those questions, and then it's going to ask you to create a library. So let me show you what that would look like. So after I created my first library, it will look like this. Now with our free plan, you get 40 books in one library. So a lot of opportunity to make books. Don't think it's just, this, small bit of stuff. You get 40 books, which is quite a bit. So here's this library. You see my name. If I click on this plus new book button, it allows me to make a book. We do have some other webinars, getting started with Book Creator webinars that will take you into a deep, deep dive into Book Creator. So I'm going to, for the sake of time, I'm going to gloss over some of this stuff. But there are books that you can choose from, and then you can start building books in your library. If you want your students to join you, then what you're going to do is click this invite code. You're going to give them a code, not this one's mine, but you're going to give them a code, and then they'll be able to log into your library and make books inside your library. So there are no student accounts in the traditional sense. The only way students can make books is by joining a teacher library. We'll talk a little bit about that again here in a second. Other things real quick I want to bring your attention to because I think this will help you as you are exploring Book Creator. We do have, again, free version. You get one library up to 40 books. This library here has a lock on it. It's just a place for you to try things out. It's not a place that your students are going to join. So you get to build books in here just to rough draft, play around, and get comfortable with it. The library that you create is the one library you can make plus the 40 additional or plus the 40 books. We do have paid plans. That's not important right now. Underneath this library section, this will be important later because I'm going to ask everybody to play along with me here. There is a button that says shared with me. And if you click on join a library, it's going to ask you for a code. You're going to be able to put in that code and you're going to be able to join a library with me. And so today we're actually going to make a book together. So at some point before now and the next 20 minutes or so, you're going to want to make sure that you get into this library and that you enter a code to join my library. And I'll put that code out there in a little bit. We also have a section full of resources. So if you want to check out books made by students and by teachers sorted by grade level. You can do that there. You can also sort resources by subject. We have a ton of books written by Bookcreator ambassadors, which are phenomenal. And then if you scroll down, we have even more information. We have a wonderful Facebook group that a lot of people are part of, PD templates, links to future webinars, and then we have our brand new Bookcreator Certified Author Program, which is amazing. If you click on that, a new link appears here at the top that says certification. And when you click on certification, you get to watch 14 videos of me explaining everything that we are going to talk about, some of it today, but everything that you need to know about Bookcreator, followed by a quiz. And if you take that quiz and pass, and you watch all the videos, you then become a Bookcreator certified author. You get a special badge, you get a certificate. It's going to be awesome. All right, so that is our certification program. Let me sign back out here. When students sign in, they got to click student and then sign in again. Google Office QR code or Clever. Sometimes students, either by fault or by accident, sign in as teachers. That is not appropriate. We take seriously privacy very, very seriously. And when students sign in as teachers, either by fault or accident, it violates that privacy agreement that we have set up with districts, states, even entire countries, right? So you definitely want your students to always be students. Teachers are always teachers. All right, so that's kind of the sign in. Roxanne, do I suggest that you sign in with Clever? If your district uses Clever, I would sign in with Clever. Now, your district will have to set Clever up first. So if they don't have Bookcreator set up on the Clever dashboard, then they'll need to do that first. And once we turn that on, then you can sign in with Clever. And it basically just makes signing in very easy for students and teachers. It's definitely not a mandatory thing, but if you do use Clever, I would definitely recommend it for sure. All right, let me get rid of that. So now I'm going to bring you back to my library here. All right, and so in this library, again, I can click on this invite code and I will be able to invite you into this library. I'm not going to invite you just yet. We're going to get there here in a minute. But this is my playground book. So I'm going to go into my book here and I probably have a bunch of pages. I do have a bunch of pages and I didn't want to do that. So let's do this. All right. So in Bookcreator, I'm going to show you a few of the really cool tools that I think you're going to want to use, and specifically some that may help you out today. All right. So in Bookcreator, once you have students click the plus button and create a book, or you click the plus button and have them work in a book with you, there are really only two important buttons. The first is the plus button up here to the top right. The plus button allows you to add content. And then the I button next to it allows you to manipulate that content or make changes to the content. All right, that's the inspector button. So if I click the plus button, we've got a lot of different options here. We've got media choices, comics, and shapes. All right, so shapes, fairly simple. Click a shape, it adds to your page. And then there's some other things that you can do with the shapes as well. You can double click inside the shape. You can even type inside the shape. And then from here, oops, that was a mistake. Then from here, if you click on a shape one time and outline it in blue, then there is this I button, the inspector. And so I can actually change the color of my shape. I can add a shadow. I can add a border. If I add a border, I can add a border color. I can then even change the size of the border. I can change the text. So like, for example, I love Open Dyslexic, which is a font specifically for dyslexic students. I can change the color of the text and I can even change the size. All right, so some really cool things you can do with shapes, timelines, graphic organizers, mind maps. I've seen teachers now in this remote learning situation even leaving feedback for students. Student writing on the page, teacher feedback over here, student makes the corrections, deletes the feedback, or leaves it depending on what the teacher wants. All right, so that's shapes. So not just making cars or weird buildings or whatever. There's a lot that you can do with just shapes. Okay, next, plus button, media. Now there's a lot going on under the media category. The first one is the import button. And to address the question that we had earlier about copyright and issues, I want you to bring your attention here to this Google image search. What's nice about this Google image search, if I type in something like dog, I'm going to find the dog that we like. We'll go with this guy. You'll notice here that all of the results in this Google image search are commercial reuse with modification. All of these images are labeled as non-attribution, so you don't need to write down where it came from. And they are all Google safe search images. So these are the safest images that Google allows, all right? Once you click on the dog or the image, you will see a link to where the image comes from. But then if you hit select, that image gets added directly to your page. So from here, I can click, I can resize, I can move things around. And now I've got this really cool image on my page, right? You can even rotate images. Next, plus button, media, import. You can pull in stuff from Google Maps. You can put an address in, you can bring it into Google Maps, all right? That's really cool. You can bring in stuff from your computer. So PDFs, images, photos, documents, audio files. You can pull those in from your computer. Same thing from Google Drive. You can pull in those files from Google Drive. And then the last one under this category is the embed feature. The embed feature is awesome because what the embed feature allows you to do is it allows you to take an embed code from some other source that you've created material in and put it into your book. The easiest way to demonstrate this is to go to YouTube. All right, so I'm going to go to YouTube. I'm going to find a video that I want. And so we'll go with this guy because it's a car washing video. And I'll pause this. Ooh, it's a Disney Plus commercial now. I'll pause that. Underneath the video, if I go on, click on the share button, to the left, there's a button that says embed. I'm going to click the embed button. I see this big old code, which doesn't mean much to me, but I'm going to copy that code. And then I'm going to go back to my book and I'm going to paste that code right there and say confirm link. I see the video, I see the link, I see the title, and now I say add to book. And so that video is now added directly into the book. So when I click play, watch what happens. All right, what you'll notice is that that video starts immediately. No commercials at the beginning, no commercials at the end, no conversation underneath, and none of that sidebar on the right-hand side, which is where kids get lost for days. All right, so I love being able to embed content into Bookcreator. The embed feature, YouTube, Vimeo, Soundtrack, Desmos calculators, Padlet, Flipgrid, Explain Everything, Powtoon, pretty much anything that you can think of that has an embed code, Desmos calculators, you can dump those right into your book and make them even more powerful. All right, so I love the embed feature. It's really awesome. It's beautiful. Yep, Roxanne said it's beautiful. I would agree with that. All right, so that is the embed feature. Next, under the media, we have a camera option. So I'm not going to take too much time here with this one, but you could take a still picture. So you click the still picture, takes a picture, adds it to your page. You could also record video. So if you click record video, it gives you a little countdown, and then you can record your video right on your page. So if I click that button, it gives you that countdown. Good morning, everybody. Hope you're having a great day learning about Bookcreator. Click stop, hit use, and now that video gets added directly to the page. I can resize it, I can move it around, I can do all of that. I think video is powerful, especially now with students in these remote learning situations. We've got students, you teach them a subject, have them run around, videotape things, say, oh, here's a 90-degree angle, there's a specific shape, here's an example of some science topic. Anything that you can think of, you can do in video. And I think your kids will really enjoy it because they'll be able to show their understanding in a way that may not be what the traditional way looks like. All right. Maybe that's a special ed teacher in me coming out, but I think that's important. Plus button. The next one down under media is the pen tool. And if you've never used Bookcreator, hold on to your seats because this is going to be awesome. So with the pen tool, all right, I'm going to show you some different options here. First, if I click on the black dot, I can change the color of the pen tool. Down here at the bottom, though, we have some very special ink. All right, call them magic ink. And so as I'm drawing with my magic ink, it is automatically changing color. your kids will go absolutely bananas over this. I promise. All right. They're going to love the magic ink. All right. I'm going to undo that. Gets better. I'm going to choose a regular color. If I click on my brush, we've got some different options. We've got a marker, a brush, a crayon, a highlighter, fairly standard stuff. But the one that I want to highlight is this one here that says auto. If you've ever asked your students to draw something, all right, and they're above about 5th or 6th grade, chances are they groaned at you. If they didn't groan, then they probably did when you told them they had to draw using a trackpad, because drawing on a trackpad is awful. All right, I'm going to demonstrate how awful that is by trying to draw a bike. All right, now I'm already upset because my bike tires are not round. They look like deformed donuts. But as I'm making my bike, look what's happening at the top. Auto Draw is trying to figure out what it is that I'm drawing. Is it a pair of glasses? No. Is it a toilet? Absolutely not. Is it a tractor? Mm-mm. It's a bike. Ooh, there's my bike. I click on my bike, and now it fixes my drawing. I can click the X box. I can go back to my magic ink. I can maybe even click the fill bucket, and now I can add some color to my bike. And now I've got this magical auto-drawn bike, and I look like I know what I'm doing. So I'm a big fan of taking away the excuses from the kids, right? I can't draw. Cool. Let auto draw help you out. All right. So auto draw is amazing. I absolutely love the auto draw feature. The other thing that's under the pen tool that I think doesn't get a lot of attention is the emojis. Now, a lot of times teachers are kind of like, ugh, emojis, right? It's those annoying things that happen at the end of text messages or tweets. There's nothing important about emojis. That might be true. However, I might want to use the emojis in a different kind of way. So let's pretend like I'm doing a report on sharks. So if I click shark, I can see the shark emoji. I've added it to my page, but now I can resize that shark, put it over here, and now I've got a research report on sharks, and I've got a really cool icon that I can use instead of going to Google and finding some square image of a shark. Now I've got this really cool shark that has no background that I can use in place of that. And so think about using emojis as design elements. Maybe it's a couch, maybe it's a lamp, maybe it's a ball, maybe it's a car, whatever. There's an emoji for just about everything. You could make a book using the emojis as a design element. So definitely think about that. All right. Plus button, media. The next one down is text. So with text, fairly simple. I can either type text in here. I can copy and paste text into there, which is awesome. I can bold, italicize, or underline it. I can even hyperlink it. So if I highlight the text, I can hyperlink that text to a website or to a page in the book. And I have the microphone, right? So I can click the microphone, talk to my computer, and it just makes it right there on the page. What's awesome about the microphone is it's in 120 different languages. So mine right now is set up for Spanish. So if I click the microphone, ¿Cuándo es tu cumpleaños? And now I have it in Spanish. I hit done. The text is there. I can move it around the page. I can rotate my text. And once it's outlined in blue, so I click on it once. Once it's outlined in blue, I hit the inspector. I can change the size of the text by dragging it across the page there. I can left, center, or right justify, bold, italicize, underline, change the font, change the color, change the background, and add a shadow if I wanted to. All right, so there's a lot that you can do there. Can I copy 4 pages of Google Docs and put it on here and make a 4-page book? No, it makes a really ugly text box. Okay, so just be careful. Copy and paste strategically. All right, that's text. And then the last one under this category is the record button. Love the record button. Click record, click start, gives you that countdown. Hey everybody, John Smith here. Hope you're having fun learning about Bookcreator, and I hope your weather is as beautiful as it is here in Ohio. Click start or stop, hit use recording, and now I have an audio button on my book that I can click, move around, resize, put it anywhere. I could even leave feedback for students on their papers by using this button. I can use it for reading fluency. I can use it for read alouds. I can use it for sound effects. I can use it for anything. I love the record button. I love having student written work over here and hearing the students read their own work on the page. It's way cooler than hitting the play button and having some robot do it. All right, so that is awesome. All right, the next section definitely want to focus on because this is where you're going to end up doing your work today. All right, the plus button, the next section is comics. And so with comics, you just click on panels, you choose a panel style, and then all you have to do is click inside that panel, and it will allow you to do two things. Click on the left, I can insert an image from Google, my files, or Drive. So if I find that dog image, and we'll go with this guy this time, hit select, and that image will fill right inside the panel. I can also choose the camera, and I can take a still picture. I can click use, and then that picture gets added into that panel there. From here, I can click the plus button. I can add a speech bubble. Whoops, I can't spell right now. I'm so hungry I can't spell. I can add a thought bubble. I can add different text options here. I can add different stickers. So we have 2 columns of stickers that we've made. We have 1 column of stickers that are blank, so that you can add your own stickers. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do. And then you can even click this outside edge, and you can click the inspector, and now you can change the background. And so you can make some really cool looking comics. All right, so you can see it's really starting to come together. If you click on this plain background alone, you click the inspector button, you can choose comic backgrounds, you can even choose different colors, you can choose different paper styles. We have graph paper, small graph paper is so tiny nobody's going to use it, lined paper, college ruled, kindergarten paper, the dot game you play when you're bored at PD, the dot game you play when it's an all-day PD, and music paper. All right, we also have different borders you can choose from. We have different patterns that you can choose from. And we have different textures. So we've got unicorn paper. My daughter calls this one unicorn paper, marble, chalkboard, right? All kinds of different backgrounds that you can choose. Give me 1 second. My dog is ready to go out, and I need to let him out for a second. I'll be right back. 5 seconds. Okay, that was more like 10. All right, so those are the features inside Bookcreator. Let me show you a couple things outside of the book, and then we're going to go ahead and get into our little activity time. So outside of your book, when you're in your library, a couple of really cool things you can do. If I hit this icon down here at the bottom, these 3 books, I can import a book from another place. I can move a book from one library to the next. I can actually make an exact copy of a book. So as teachers, you can create a template book that your students can then edit. All right, so they would join your library, they make a copy of a book that you made, and then they can edit the copy, but not the original. This button is one of my favorites, and this is the Combine Books button. So when I click Combine Books, I can click all of the books that I like, hit next, and then what it does is it takes all of those books and sucks them in together, all right, which is really awesome. And then, of course, you can delete your book if you don't want that. There's also the button here that says share. So I can publish my book online. So I click it 1 time, I check the title, check the author, publish it, click the publish button again, and now that book is online. That's it. A couple of clicks, it's online, available for anybody to read as long as they have the link. I'm not going to be able to go to Google and search your book. So as long as they have the link, then anybody with an internet connected device can then read your book. If you make changes to that book, it automatically fixes on the online version. You don't have to stop publishing and make those changes. All right, I'm going to stop publishing there. We also have the ability to collaborate. So you can invite students in your library. And once they're in your library, they can all work on the same book together. So it's very Google-like. This will be important here in just a minute. And we also have the ability to download your book as an EPUB, It's not very useful. It can work in Apple Books or Bookcreator, but if you're going to share it with other people, I would definitely publish it online or even print the book out as a PDF, and then you can send it to parents as a PDF. All right, so there's some pretty cool options there. So Melissa, yes, after creating a book, can it be printed or any feature within Bookcreator? So it can be printed as a PDF. Unfortunately, you're going to lose some of the important stuff, right? You're going to lose the videos, the audio, all that good stuff. But right now there is the PDF printing option. We don't print that. You're going to have to print that on your own printer, but those are some of the options that are available. Okay, now that was a lot, right, to handle. So here's what we're going to do. This is my time where I'm going to stop talking for a few minutes and you are going to do some work. So I'm going to invite you to join this library. So again, you're going to go to app.bookcreator.com. You're going to sign in as a teacher. You're going to answer a couple questions if you haven't already done this. I'm sure some of you are super excited about this. You've probably already signed in. Once you've signed into your library, click those 3 lines to the top, go to your teacher dashboard, and you're going to scroll all the way to the bottom, and you're going to click Join a Library. You're going to put in that code that I'm going to give you here in a second, and you're going to get into my library. When you do that, you'll see 3 books, 1, 2, and 3. Book number 3 is the one that we're going to focus on. All right, so let me give you this code. I'm going to put this code into the chat window. All right, we'll put the code there. All right, and that's going to allow you to join my library. Now, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to demonstrate this for you so that you understand. When you first join my library, you're not going to be able to do this. All right, so you got to just give me a minute here, and I'm going to show you what to do. Once I turn on collaboration, and I'll announce this, you're going to click inside this book that says The People of. And then I have a template. Double click in here. My name is. You're going to tell me your name. You're going to type it in there. I teach. You're going to double click. You're going to type in what you teach. Then you're going to click inside the comic panels and you're going to put in some pictures. Tell me what you teach. Show me who you are. If you could be anywhere in the world right now, where would it be? Probably not going to be Ohio. One interesting fact about you, right? You're going to put all this stuff in, design your page, click the plus button, try some other things too. Maybe you want to add a sticker. Maybe you want to add a shape. Maybe you want to add an audio button. However you want to mess with your page, that's what you're going to do. All right. So you're going to click on here. Now, when you get in here, if you see somebody else's little icon down here to the bottom right, just click the arrow and find a page that somebody else isn't already working on. All right. You want to find your own page. All right. So do I have anybody in here? Yes. Neelan, yes, I've got some people in here. Awesome. So what you're going to do is I'm going to go underneath my book. I'm going to click the share button. I'm going to turn on collaboration and I'm going to say everyone in the library. We do also have the ability to choose individual students. So if I only wanted 2 students to work on that book, I could. In this case, though, I'm going to say everyone. I'm going to hit start collaboration and you are going to now be able to click inside that book and you're going to find just a blank page, any page that somebody isn't working on already. All right. So Telarisha, she's on page 1 here. All right. So somebody else that comes into the book, you're going to find a new page. So I always go to pages view and I just look for some page that does not have a head already on it. And then I start working on that page. All right. So everybody get in there, find a blank page to work on, and then go ahead and start filling it out. I'm going to give you about 5 minutes or so to fill this out. And then I'm going to have you answer or ask any questions that you may have remaining. Okay. So my friends that are on Facebook as well, join my library, jump in here, find a blank page and start making part of this book. All right. I do this type of activity at every conference I go to. I call it the People of. And so what I do is I just open up a book during the conference and I just invite all the thousands of people that attend those conferences. I just invite them in so that they can show me who they are, tell me what they do, have a little bit of fun, and it gives them a chance to kind of play around with Bookcreator. All right. So I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to give you about 4 more minutes here to continue working on your book. And if you have questions or comments as we're going along, let me go ahead and do that. I'll go ahead and answer those. So Patrice, can you go back to when I click the link, where do I go? Yeah, so if you, Patrice, did you get to app.bookcreator.com and you signed in? Is that, let me know if you did that. Probably asked you to answer a couple of questions. Tell us what you teach, what grade levels. Did you get to that part? Okay, so go ahead and do that first. So again, the link was app.bookcreator.com. Sign up for your account, and then Patrice, let me know once you've signed up, let me know, and I'll tell you the next step. Let's see what here. Let's see what we've got. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of you in there already. Awesome. And I know the first time you do this, it may take a second or two. You may need me to repeat a few things. That's okay. Once you get in there and you get through this process once, then it's just going to be easy from that point on. You're going to understand how to do libraries, how to join libraries. Your kids will know how to do it. It's going to be really easy once you get started. All right. All right, let's take a look at our book here. All right, so we got Telerisa there. And Samantha, just make sure you find a new page, Samantha. Ria, make sure you find a new page as well. Just click the arrow to the right and find a new page. We don't want to mess up a Telerisa page. So just click on the arrows, find a page that somebody isn't already working on. All right, so again, Ria and Samantha, this is Telerisa's page. It looks like maybe Samantha accidentally changed Telerisa's name there. So Telerisa, we might want to change that at the top there. All right. And so, yep, again, just click on the arrows until you find a page that somebody isn't already working on. All right. Awesome. Awesome. Good stuff. You guys are catching on. That's what I like to see. All right. All right, Patrice, how are we doing? Roxanne, you either meant stumped or stomped. I don't stomped as in like super excited, or stumped as in not quite sure where to go from here. And if you're not quite sure where to go from here, it's okay. I know this was kind of fast paced. We had a lot of good stuff to get into that hour. I definitely want you to make sure, I'm going to put this link in here as well. So if you go to https support.bookcreator.com. This website has step-by-step guides for everything. And we do have our YouTube channel, which has lots of great recorded webinars that will go over step-by-step with everything. Roxanne says, where do I add the code? Perfect. So up here at the top left of my library, there are these 3 lines. If I click those 3 lines, scroll all the way to the bottom where it says join a library, you're going to click join a library, and that's where you're going to put the code. All right, and again, that code is right here. That's how you'll be able to join our library. All right, and I see Roxanne made it into the library. Excellent. So just go ahead and click inside the People Love book, find a page that somebody isn't on, and then go from there. Melissa, as far as confirming an email, and now I'm lost. Did you confirm the email, Melissa? And Michelle, the website to get to sign in is That's okay, no worries, Michelle. app.bookcreator.com. You can click there. Make sure you sign in on as a teacher. So click the teacher button and then sign in. And then you'll be able to enter this code to join my library. And I'll leave this library up for a couple of days. That way you can get in there and still play around, try things out as we go along. All right. So Melissa thinks you connected. That's good. So then, Melissa, once you've logged in, all right, you should be able to come to a library screen or at least your teacher dashboard. So you're just going to click the 3 lines here to the top left, go to your dashboard, scroll all the way down to the bottom, click where it says join a library, and then you're going to be able to click that and enter the code right there. And then you should be able to jump in and make a page inside of my book. All right, I see a lot of you in there. This is great. All right, Telerisha, very good. Looking good there. All right, Shireen, I like it. All right, Tanuki, hopefully I said that right. Awesome, love what I'm seeing here. Very good. Robin, I like, very fun. Excellent. There's Neelan. All right, California. Let's teach Spanish. Yep. You guys are doing it. This is awesome. Okay, now I know that we are getting close to the end of our time, and I want to be respectful of the time that we're here today. So how do I save my page for my dashboard? So actually so Cheryl, what you're going to do is these pages are going to be saved in my library. So what you're going to do underneath my book is you're going to click this book icon and you're going to say copy book. And so it's going to allow you to take that entire book and put that copy in one of your own libraries. Okay, so make a copy of it, put it in your own library, and then you can go ahead and delete the rest of the pages if you want, or you can just keep it as a memento. But that's how that works. All right. Leanne, do we have anything from Facebook? I guess if we don't, the only other thing I ask everybody to do is somewhere in that chat window, tell me what you thought. What are your initial thoughts about Bookcreator? Are you excited? Are you scared? Did you wish I talked slower? I can't. That's how I am. I'm super excited about this. I think that you guys will love it. Again, check out our YouTube channel. Check out our webinars. Check out our support documents. I think you're going to have fun. I think your kids are going to smash it. I think it's going to be great. Leanne?
Yes, I just want to say, for those of you who were not able to get onto the book, that the recording would be available so that you can do it and pause when you need to. All right, because the key thing I think is getting in. So some people were saying that they did not see the verification link, but I think now that it's over, you will have a copy of the recording. You can do it again. But yes,
I do want to say every once in a while too, that verification email goes into your spam folder, into your email spam. So check that and see if it's there. If you still don't have that verification email, email support@bookcreator.com, and the support people, we can verify it for you so that you can get in there and get making books.
And just sharing some comments. Well, so we had some people from St. Martin. We had persons from Philippines. We had people from Trinidad and Tobago, St. Lucia, so Lebanon. We had people from quite a range of countries.
That's awesome.
And some feedback. I'm excited about using this. I will work through it. Definitely loving it. Great resource for my school. I'm loving it. Thank you, John and Leanne. This is fun. So those are just some comments coming out from Facebook.
Awesome. Thank you. And Stephen, thank you. It was great. Loving it. So yeah, again, I want you to think about the different ways that you can use Bookcreator in your classroom. I always say the worst part about our company is our name, because usually when you say books, that's when the math and science teachers are like, peace out. We don't do books. We do math and science. But I made a math textbook with my students. I've done yearbooks. We've done family guides, welcoming parents to schools. There's so much more you can do with Bookcreator than just a typical type of book. All right, Cheryl, thank you so much for sharing. Thank you. I'm glad you were here, and I'm glad that you love to try this out. So again, thank you, everybody. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Leanne, for giving me the opportunity to present and share Book Creator with your group. I appreciate it. And yeah, I mean, that's all I have. So unless you have any other questions, I just want to say be safe out there. Happy bookmaking. And again, thanks for having me. So Michelle, thank you too.
More comments. We have persons from Barbados as well. There's one question. Do you have examples of math books or ways to use it first? So John, can you just show them the library that is available?
Yep, absolutely. So Roberto, in your library, if you click these three lines to the top left, there is a little tab here on your teacher dashboard that says resources. You can also get those if you go to bookcreator.com/resources. But there are tons of books here that were written by students or teachers. So sort by grade level, or you can sort by subject. So if I click math, then what it does is it pulls up this library and it talks about math. So we actually have a couple of math books written by our Book Creator ambassadors. But if I scroll down, there's a book, 13 projects for Book Creator in math. And if I keep scrolling down, then these are sample books. Some of them written by kids, some of them written by teachers, all using Book Creator, teaching you about math. So there's a lot of really cool things that you can do. This one right here, I see numbers all over the place. This was actually a book that I helped do with a group of kindergarten kids in my old school district. And so literally we talked about numbers and we just said, okay, kids, run around with your iPad and find the number 5. And so they're literally running around taking pictures of 5s all over the building and say, I see a 5 on the drinking fountain. I see a 5 on the door. I see a 5 here, right? So lots of really cool options. And then again, here's some videos and additional resources. So lots of great stuff that you can check out there for math. Are all the books, that's a good question. I like this question. Are all of the books checked for accuracy? So this is not checked by us. All right, we are not a publishing house. We are not going to go through and nitpick at everybody's books and figure things out. The ones that were put in these resources are probably ones that have been vetted. I know they are. Our marketing guy has looked at them. But again, we're not math teachers. We're not science teachers. So we leave the accuracy checking up to the individual teacher. So before you publish the book as a teacher, you definitely want to check that, right? You want to see if everything's written properly and it looks good. But we don't do that. All right. Julia, sorry that your tablet froze. I can't wait for this to unfreeze so that you can look at. I love it. Where has this been all my life? Right. I don't know where it was, but I know where it is now. Right. It's in your life now. So that's awesome.
John, we have a question from Neelan. She said how do we access something we first created 1 book 1 hour a while ago? Something she would have done a while ago. She said it's not possible.
Neelan, so if you send me an email and let me know which one it was that you participated in. I can't remember, and I'll send you the link for that one that you participated in. Where do we access the videos that you created so that we can watch this again? So Leanne will send out the video to this webinar so you can watch it again. But we also have those webinar or those videos on our YouTube channel. And we also have that Book Creator Certified Author program that's built right into your teacher dashboard, which has more videos that you can take a look at as well. Samantha wants to know the price. So there's a $60 version, and it gives you 180 books and 3 libraries. The free version gives you 40 books, 1 library. And then there's a $120 version that gives you 1,000 books, unlimited libraries. And it really is the ultimate flexibility. You could create a library for every kid if you wanted to. For schools, that unlimited plan is what we go with. And it includes professional development, webinars, trainings. It includes an admin console so you can distribute licenses to your teachers. It includes account management by me. And like I said, trainings and webinars. So that's what that includes for the full package. And then I think we have a question here, but it's saying the code is invalid or used already. So Melissa, we'll make sure that that code is typed in correctly. Sometimes if there's even a space in the code beforehand, that will kind of nix it. So I'm going to put that code into the chat window one more time so that you can go ahead and try that again. But make sure there's no space before or after the code. and it should get you in. And then Samantha, is there a word or page limit for the book? The short answer is no. The longer answer is I think there is like a 6,000 page limit to a book. So unless you're like super, super ambitious, you're probably not going to get to 6,000 pages. I think you'll be okay.
All right. So somebody was asking, how do we save a copy again? So if you could just go over how they save a copy of the book again.
Yep. So underneath the book that you're working on, if you click this icon, it looks like 3 books. You're going to click the 3 book icon. You're going to click the button that says copy, and then you're going to put that copy into one of your libraries that you've created. And that will make an exact copy of that book that you can then keep in your own library.
Right. So I think that's it. Of course, awesome comments coming in. Love this. I'm thinking we're going to have a lot of people trying out some books later today. So John,
Awesome.
I really want to thank you for not just sharing about Bookcreator, but about sharing your story in the classroom. It's always wonderful to hear educators having positive experiences and sharing those experiences. So thank you for sharing with 21st Century Educators. And thank you everyone for being with us and being such a lovely participatory audience.
Yes.
So that's it. So
right.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you. I'll stop my sharing there. All right. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. Again, be safe. Happy book.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Leanne. Bye-bye.